Well, I only use Chrome when helping out with podcasts, so that might
No,
have something to do with it as well.
that might be. All right. Sup, y'all. Welcome to the CrossForge Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Ryan, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty. And we're going to go down the list of my panelists. Returning from this past Monday, we have Ned. Say hi.
Evening, everybody.
Or say evening. He doesn't listen. I tell him to do something, he doesn't do it. This is my life right now. Also returning from Monday, we have Asad.
Hey, guys and gals and people.
Guys, gals, and people. The three genders.
That's right.
Right.
And returning to CrossForge Gaming from a short hiatus, we have Nolan of Nolan Dies.
Everybody. Yeah.
Is
everybody.
Nolan Dies coming back?
Probably.
Eventually?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably next week. I still
No
have
one
to
wants. No one wants to watch me play Cat Mario. We need you.
Is that what you've been
bet lots
doing?
of
I
people
would
do.
love to watch that, actually. Can we do that?
I was a big fan of that, actually. So
I was just super frustrated the whole time.
It's frustrating, and that's the whole point.
It is. It's even more frustrating than like that getting over it was. I think.
Was
I
it?
don't
See,
know, maybe it wasn't that bad.
I haven't really played much of Cat Mario, so it's hard for me to say on that.
What was really aggravating was it's a Flash game, but somehow it managed to dip my my bit rate, or not my bit rate, but I was dropping frames to the stream playing a Flash game.
Right.
And then I would go boot up, I don't know. I played just
completely
Cause 2.
modded Skyrim.
Yeah, and everything was
Just
fine. So.
60 mods going on, and it's completely fine.
Right, and everything. It's probably fine. Nothing is completely fine around here. You should know.
It's probably fine. Yeah.
I know you've been gone a while, but you haven't gone that long. All right, we've got a really big show today. I had a show planned out. We were going to talk about the fact that Nintendo has announced that Virtual Console is not going to exist under the Virtual Console banner, and what that means for the future of classic games on Switch. And then yesterday, there was this big leak about Nintendo's E3 plans, and I'm like, well, guess we're not talking about Virtual Console anymore, because we're going to talk about this. We're still going to talk about Virtual Console at a later date, because I think I have some thoughts and theories on the direction that they're going, and I'd like to hear from the community and the contributors from CFG about what they think about it. But we're not going to talk about that tonight because it's just not timely anymore. But first, I have that I'm going to live read Humble Bundle, and I don't have my script pulled up. So I'm just going to really quickly tell you all that Humble Bundle is awesome. You get games for very, very cheap. You get to help charities like the American Red Cross or Extra Life or what's the Penny Arcade one? Child's Play. And that's their
okay. Got it. Never mind.
They have like Alzheimer's charities and veterans charities and all that stuff. You also get to help out the developers of the games that are involved in the Humble Bundle, also Humble Bundle themselves. And if you use our Humble Bundle partner link, which is in the description of this podcast, you help out CrossForge Gaming as well. So you say you pay $10 and you get a whole bunch of really cool games that are in it. Recently, I feel like Sega and Capcom had one where they had a whole bunch of their games in it. I didn't look at it real closely. To see exactly what was in it, but that's the kind of stuff you're looking at. They have AAA games, they have indie games. It started out as all indie games, and eventually, I think AAA publishers started to see like, hey, this is a really good way to, spread around some charity and some good cheer, and we of course they make a little bit of money on the side. So, but yeah,
these are nice. Like I'm looking at the multiplayer one. There's some good games.
Oh yeah. What's in it, right? Oh, the Rocket League's in that.
Yeah, Rocket League is like the big one. The base one, you get Stick Fight the Game, which is a fantastic game. Rampage Nights, which I don't know what that is, and Tumblestone, which looks like
I have Tumblestone,
Tetris, and Hearthstone. If I'm looking at this, I have no idea.
I have Tumblestone on Xbox One because I got it through Games with Gold. It's a thing that exists. It's okay. I guess
The Siege is the next one up, which I have that on Steam. I bought that when it was like on alpha, and that's a lot of fun. It's basically you just make these siege machines to destroy stuff, and that's how you pass levels.
So the base one. So the base tier, all you have to do is pay $1, right? And you get
pay $1. And if you
And then the middle tier, you have to beat whatever the
543.
current average is.
Yeah, 543 to also get those, and then 14 or more, and you get Rocket League.
Right. And Rocket League by itself is like $25 or something.
Yeah.
So $14, you're getting Rocket League and a whole bunch of other really great games, and you're helping charity. And if you use the CrossForge Gaming Humble link, you're also helping out CrossForge Gaming. So it's a really good way to do that. I highly recommend it. Also, the Humble monthly bundle that's coming up, $12 a month gets you into the Humble bundle monthly, and it has Destiny 2 as its flagship game. So if you're interested at all in Destiny 2, check that out. I went and subscribed to it. I have no interest in Destiny 2, so I guarantee you'll see me giving away my code very soon on CFG. That's actually the main reason that I subscribe to the Humble Bundle. So I have codes for games I don't care about that I can give away to people who do care about them. All right, moving on. We only have 2 news items before we get into the big topic, which is Nintendo's E3, so stick around for that. Have any of you... Fine, don't. Leave. Okay, but not really, because I need you here. So have any of you guys seen this adaptive controller that Microsoft has?
No, I have no idea. I was like...
Do you even know what I'm talking about? Like
I know
what
what
an
you're
adaptive
talking
controller
about.
is.
But I haven't really read up on it quite yet.
Okay, so this was actually really cool. This was really cool for me because so let me explain it. I have a friend who when he was born, he got a bad polio vaccine, and so he doesn't have full use of one of his hands and neither of his legs. So he's in a wheelchair. And so when and I'm going to try and describe this best I can without having a controller in front of me. He sets the Xbox controller on his knees, and he just kind of rests his palms on top. Well, with one of his hands, because he has full use of it, he can actually hold it. But the other one, which I'm pretty sure is his right hand, so he's just resting his palms on the buttons, and he kind of rolls his palm around to push the different buttons that he wants to be able to hit. Excuse me. He'll pick the controller up and slam it on his knee to do the right trigger and stuff. And honestly, even though this guy does not have full use of his body, he's amazing at video games. Like he'll jump into a game of Halo, he'll probably beat you. That's how good he is. So this adaptive controller is like that. And you won't be able to see it. Maybe when I put together the YouTube video, I'll throw up a picture of it. But definitely there's a link to this article where they're going through it, and they interview Phil Spencer in the video and stuff like that, and it's really cool. But you can set your hands on these 2 really big buttons, and then there's a D-pad, and it's not start and select anymore. What the heck do they call it now? Menu and options or something stupid like that.
Hold on, I have one right here.
Okay. But there's no words under it.
There's no words on it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You all know what I'm talking about.
It's like starting options or something. Like something like one of them's option.
Right. And then so that handles your and you can actually customize this. Like the 2 big buttons can be whatever buttons you want. Cool. But then on the back of this thing, and you won't see that unless you're watching the video, there's just 3.5 millimeter ports, like a headphone port. But so in the video, if you watch it, there's a guy who has a Rock Band drum pedal hooked up to one of those ports in the back, and that's one of his buttons. And then he's got this other thing that's sits around his knee, and his knee's between it, and he moves. I know you guys can't see because my knee's not high enough in the camera, but he moves his knee back and forth to steer a car, and he actually plays Rocket League without his hands at all. And in fact, at one point, I wasn't sure because they don't call it out, but I could swear to you in that video, they have a Wii nunchuck hooked up to it. It's straight up. Like I'm looking at it. Like there's no way that's not what that is.
A nunchuck. It has a C and a Z button on there. Like I'm looking at this. I'm like,
yeah. And so it's really, really cool for people with disabilities. But honestly, as cool as that is, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing you've got those people out there that are like, I'm going to beat Dark Souls with a Rock Band guitar. I want to see someone take this goofy thing and be like, I'm going to hook up whatever random nonsense I can up to this thing, and I'm going to go beat something like Dark Souls, or I'm going to I'm going to be the best person at Fortnite or something.
Because some of these are crazy. I'm looking at some of there's like a bite sensor that you bite it and it's something, or like a proximity if you move it, or like if it's. So this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You said like I read, like adaptive control. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm looking at it, I'm like, and that's what this is, and that's really cool because I know, like, well, I can't remember what the name of them is, but like they've been working on trying to make like controllers like this for people who can't just use a controller, for various
Right.
reasons. That's really
Right.
cool.
So on the back of
Cool.
it, it's got the 3.5 millimeter jacks for pretty much every function on the controller, and then on the side of it is a USB. And that USB, it looks like it'll adapt just about anything to it. Like they use a really I don't know if it's really old. They might still make the thing, but I remember I had this Logitech PC joystick, but I had it like back in the 90s.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but they hook that up to it. One thing that I am curious about though is since you can basically hook anything that you want to up to it and use it, when are people going to start hooking a mouse and keyboard up to it and using that to play FPSs and gaining an advantage over people to play with a controller?
Probably day one.
Yeah. I mean, people already do it with, there's this device you can get that will already do that with a mouse and keyboard. But now that this thing is basically Microsoft saying, here, we support that, it's just going to be even easier.
Unless they do something prevent it that like specifically like some kind of sensor for, this is a keyboard and a mouse or something like that.
Right.
I mean, actually, a mouse would probably work. I don't know about a keyboard though. It's like, I don't know. I guess it depends.
But it's really neat. This is also the first time that a first-party developer has come out with anything like this. Anytime that if you wanted something like this, you usually had to spend, $300, $400, $500 on someone who was modding it. So they would actually go buy an Xbox One controller or a PS4 controller, and they would gut it and put all of the different things up on these, crazy stuff to make it work. And so this thing. The base thing is $100. Of course, you have to supply all of the gadgets and doodads you're going to hook up to it. But to get started, it's only $100. That's really neat. And I hope that Nintendo and Sony kind of respond. And actually, I would be willing to bet that since it's Microsoft at this end, but I don't remember reading anything saying that was the case. But I can't imagine that it wouldn't be.
Right.
All right. So there's that. Now on to the next thing, which is I just learned about this before we started because Assad brought it to my attention. It's a Halo arcade shooter. And before any of you think what I thought, which is that we're getting a arcade shooter for the Xbox or for the PC or something, that's not what's happening. What's happening is Dave & Buster's is getting an arcade machine that has this thing called Halo Fireteam Raven. So it's a co-op arcade shooter game. It takes place during the events of Halo Combat Evolved, which is the first one. It's not the first one in the timeline because technically that's
Reach.
And actually, I think the Halo Wars games, or at least the first one, might even be earlier than Reach. But anyway, it's the first one with Master Chief in it. And the first one that actually came out. The game takes place on an enormous 130-inch 4K screen with 4 mounted turrets and can be played in both competitive and cooperative modes. So far, it's only announced for American arcades. And I think the publication I'm reading this on is an Australian one, so they specifically mentioned that they hope for it to come out in Australia. But it's exclusive to Dave & Buster's. No word on when this comes out, but if you live near Dave & Buster's and you want to go play it, go check it out. And tell us how it is. I feel like both Assad and Ned are frozen.
Are they?
I'm not really frozen.
Okay. There he is.
My element's fire, not ice. Come on.
Oh, there he is. Ned's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Nolan.
It's just Ned is so still. Ned, do you find that motion sensor lights go out with you in the room?
Well, let's just say that I've been mistaken for statues in gardens before.
Okay. You could do what are the guards in England that are all like, and they can't move? You could totally do that. I mean, I think you might have to be British to be able to do that, but
I think it's
but you know,
A 10 won the podcast as a human statue.
yes.
Nah.
All right. Now time for my next live read. I'm trying to practice these live reads because when this podcast gets really big,
Podcast?
yes, podcast. When the
Okay.
podcast gets really big and there's like millions of people watching us, I want to be able to sell these time slots. So that's why I'm filling these in here so that I can prove that I'm good enough to do these live reads. It's just right now I'm not because I stumble through them. And so the live read I want to do now is for Twitch Prime. Also, we are an Amazon affiliate. So Twitch Prime is a really cool service offered by Amazon, who owns Twitch. You get exclusive emoticons. You get a little badge so that when you're in the Twitch chat, everybody's like, oh man, this guy's got Twitch Prime. I'm so jealous. I should go get Twitch Prime. I think that's the point of it. I don't know. I've never looked at a virtual thing and gone, man, I wish I had that, and then decided to drop $120 so that I could have it. And when I say $120, you don't have to pay $120 right up front. You get to try it for 30 days for free by using our CrossForge Gaming Twitch Prime free 30-day trial. You also get all the cool exclusive features of Amazon Prime, like free 2-day shipping. So, for example, and also discounts on brand new games. So I've got Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition coming for Switch in my mailbox tomorrow. I don't have to get up and go to GameStop. It's just going to be there when I get home from work. And because I pre-ordered it and I'm a Twitch Prime subscriber, I got a 20% discount on it. So instead of paying $60, which I know a lot of you are like, why in the world is Nintendo selling a game that was on Wii U for $60 for Switch? And isn't that the question that we'll just never have an answer to? But I didn't pay $60 for it. I paid something like $49 for it or something like that. So that's a really cool feature, and it shows up on my doorstep on day one. I didn't have to pay for the shipping because it's already included in Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime, I know it used to be $99 a year. Now it's $120 a year. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is a thing, and that's okay. So, but yeah, you should check it out. You get 30 days for free, and you get all the perks, and it's awesome. All right.